It's the great Chinese riddle. How do you feed more than 1 billion people? Only 11% of the country can be used to grow food. Over the centuries, those living in the remotest places have had to come up with ingenious methods to make the most of the land. Turpan, home of the Uyghur people. Seen from the air, it's a dry and desolate desert, dotted by thousands of mysterious pockmarks. Holes that lead to a 2,000-year-old subterranean system that's longer than the length of India. The Suez Canal Network. 1,000 horizontal wells have been sunk into the earth and then connected by canals over 3,000 miles in length, directing water from the Tian Shan mountain glaciers 100 miles to the north to their fields and villages. It was cutting-edge ancient engineering that still works today, irrigating a land that would otherwise be a giant dust bowl. It's not just about clean drinking water. Incredibly, this desert produces tons of grapes annually. Without the canals, the Uyghurs' major export would wither on the vine. And the true scale of production is revealed from the air. They may look like honeycomb, but these mud brick blocks are used to air dry millions of grapes into raisins. Without modern materials and technology, the ancients triumphed, turning nature to their advantage. 1,533 miles away in southeast Yunnan, the locals had their own agricultural mountain to overcome. How to grow China's greatest staple, rice. Here there's plenty of water, but stopping it draining away is the problem. 1,300 years ago, the local Hani people miraculously transformed the landscape. To grow their crops, they hand-carved rice paddies into the mountains to trap the water. Rising above 6,000 feet and spreading over 386 square miles, larger than the size of New York City, the terraces harness the power of the mountain's natural ecosystem. It acts like a giant recycling machine. The water evaporates from the river valleys to form fog and cloud. The clouds are then trapped by the mountain forests, and then rain falls and flows back down through the terraces in a never-ending cycle.
生可以老，好嘛就培基，今天嘛就是要做是，阿都老话操阿叔会说那里么，我们那阿都一跑比较今天就木了的，你们感觉着了嘛？我听我阿都弄好可能是一点木了嘛，阿都木在那，一来比发展嘛，那弄阿来好了，啊，一来啊，一来我。
This type of wet field agriculture was invented in China. And using these ancient farming traditions, passed down through the generations, is how China feeds the biggest population on Earth. Xiapu County on the East China coast has traditionally been home to a fishing community. But here, some have turned to farming a crop that doesn't grow on land, but well below the waves. A seaweed called giant kelp. In the warm waters of the East China Sea, the kelp is grown through the winter, and then in spring, hung to dry on bamboo poles before being harvested.
This year, 那个海带就是因为雨水太多嘛，普遍雨水多，然后就是海带烂掉了。今年收成跟往年要差了1/3吧。
Despite this year's rain adversely affecting the drying process, the industry is booming. As a food source, kelp, a rich and sustainable crop, is in demand. For the ex-fishermen of Xiapu, the returns justify the back-breaking work. For the country, it's a way to feed the ever-growing masses without using the overpopulated land.